Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Country Bumpkin Creates. My name is Lucy. You can find me on Ravelry as Country Bumps and on Instagram as country_bumps. Thank you to... I haven't recorded for a while because we've had some sad events going on. Unfortunately, my dad lost his battle against Alzheimer's and Parkinson's in the middle of August. So he was quite poorly before that with various things. So I haven't been able to record. I haven't had the time or the headspace, to be honest. But we had the celebration of his life on Thursday, which was fantastic. It was just what Dad would have wanted, a proper celebration. The celebrant who did this service is the word I'm looking for. She was just fantastic, and she captured the essence of Dad and had everybody laughing, which is exactly what Dad would have wanted. Thank you to everybody who sent me messages of condolence on Facebook and Instagram. It really is heartwarming to know that there are lots of people out there who sent well wishes, so thank you. I have been knitting though, which is good, because when Dad was poorly we were sort of there by his bedside most of the time, so I have got quite a bit of knitting done, and it's obviously been quite a while since I recorded last, so let's get on with the show, I suppose. That's what we're here for after all. We're here for the knitting. I'm a bit out of practice, shall we say. Right, let's start with some socks first. So I have 3 pairs of socks to show. One of which was a whip that you saw in the last episode, which were these. These are the Heat Wave. This self-striping loveliness is Heat Wave by Fab Funky Fibres. And I did I buy their petite skeins, which are 50 grams, which is perfect for me to be able to get a pair of socks. For me, I'm a UK size 5, and I do a 72 stitch on a 2.5mm needle. So I did these as an afterthought everything. So I knit a cuff at one end, just knit the whole 50 gram tube to make sure that I get to use it all, and then put a toe on one end, and then I pick up and cut in the middle, put a cuff on one half, a toe on the other, and then a true afterthought cut in heel. And these were part of I'm a patron of Chelsea, who is one half of Legacy Knits Fibre Arts, and she's doing a Patreon thing now where she records a special vlog once a week for her patrons. She's got a patron only Instagram account, and we do a live Instagram chat on a Friday. And with this, she did a knit along. She wanted to learn out of one of the Instagram chats came about learning to do afterthought heels. Don't kitchen her very well there. So she did a knit along that was an afterthought heel and 9-inch circular needles, but I can't get on with them, so I just did the afterthought heel thing. Although I have done them before, so it's not like I needed to learn, but I just took part anyway for the sake of taking part. And then we have these glorious, beautiful, again by Fab Funky Fibres. This is number 15, so it's a 15 stripe rainbow, starting here with the pink, going all the way through to this, excuse me, beautiful like light violet, I suppose. So you can see them there. So I have got 2. This one is 4 stripes too short. See, it only comes to there before I start the toe, because apparently I can't use scales and I didn't weigh. Again, I had a 50 gram and I should have just done them as a tube, but in my wisdom thought, no, I've done 2 repeats there. Looks like I've got 2 repeats left in the ball. Weighed it, I had 25 grams left. Obviously I didn't weigh it before because it must have been slightly over 50 grams to get those extra 4 repeats in. But so it just means that one leg is slightly shorter than t'other. But once they're up the leg of my trousers, who's got to know? Be our little secret between you and me. So Fab Funky Fibres were vending at Yarningham. When did we go there? July? Yeah, middle of July. And I did go a bit mental in their booth. But their yarn is glorious. It's so nice to knit with. The colours are amazing. And they're very nice people. Spent quite a long time chatting to them. As well as buying all the yarn. So that's one of my Yarningham skeins. I've got another one to show you in a moment. And I did buy, I think I bought 3 other pairs of self-striping. 3 other pairs? Sets of skeins even? Oh my word, Lucy Jane. 3 other skeins of self-striping yarn from them. So you'll see those in future episodes, because I intend to knit them all very soon. So I like to have a pair of just plain vanilla socks on the needles, just for travelling around, gallivanting, doing things. You know, if you go somewhere and you're sat waiting, then it's handy to just have them in your handbag, put a row on here and there. Now, I don't know if you're, for old viewers, welcome back, by the way, and thank you to any new viewers. Do you remember these? These were the Ottoline socks that I knit. They had a colourwork leg, but me being me didn't go up a needle size or go up a stitch count and the leg was too tight and I couldn't get it over my foot. So they went into timeout for a bit, and because Stash Dash was happening, and if you alter something, or you know, if you have something that's existing and alter it, then you can count the whole meterage. So I chopped the leg off. So this is the heel was already done, so I picked up just above the heel, because that's where the colour work started. So I picked up a row above the heel, cut the leg off, and then I've just knit some more blue just to give it a bit of length on the, I made them into ankle socks, and then done the same stripe here with the grey and the orange. This is like real like neon orange but it's blowing out a bit because I've got the curtains open. And then just did a cuff on each. So I did that to both of them, and now I've got a wearable pair of socks, which is a result. So that's the 3 sock FOs. Now we go on to the epic FOs. Right, let me put my show notes down. Put them up there, because apologies for the crinkling. Oh, I haven't put my microphone on, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to be changing different outfits. So the rest of the FOs are in a massive IKEA bag, so I'm just going to pull them out at random. So this, a beauty, is the Hibernating cowl by Stephen West, and it's a sort of loop, quite a large loop cowl. So when you knit it, you start this way. So you knit this beautiful textured section. So these 3 sections form the pattern, so they repeat around the cowl, and then you go into some colour work. Beautiful colour work triangles. Then you do a section of slip stitches, and then this section is only supposed to be the 2 greys, but I had quite a lot of these, quite a bit of the colour left, so I decided to intersperse some more colour within the stripes, and I'm sure Stephen West would approve of more colour, because who wouldn't? So, and then you sew the 2 ends together. I'm not going to show you the sewn up bit because it's not very good. So it's going to be like really lovely and squishy under a coat. I don't know if it'll go around twice. A big head or not. Oh, stuck now. Not like one of those Russian women. So you can put it around twice, but it's quite bulky and I can't really breathe very well. Oh. But once it's under a coat and it's all bunched up, it'll be beautiful. So that's the Hibernating cowl. Oh, the yarn I used for this was John Arbon Textiles. I can't remember the numbers. Or it's their knit by numbers range, and I can't remember what numbers they were. But if you look on my Ravelry page, all the all the numbers are on my Ravelry page. All the yarn that I used. I do have Ravelry pages for all of my projects. That is one thing I am a bit of a nerd about. This next one is another FO. This is literally just come off the needles yesterday, so I haven't blocked it yet. This is the ale hat, ALE, as in beer ale hat, by Jodie, one half of the Grocery Girls, Jodie Brown. And again, this is John Arbon DK. This is their Viola base. I can't remember what base it is, but it's what constitutes what sheep breed the yarn is, but it's beautiful. So this is a grey. This is a more of a mustard than it's coming out, and then this beauty at the top is Autumn Eladrin by Hannah from Chromatic Yarns. She just did a Halloween update. Oh my god, they were all beautiful. So I bought this. This is the one that I fell in love with, and it's not showing true on here at all. It's like proper deep oranges and browns and chestnut browns and some like vibrant yellows and stuff. It's just beautiful. So like I say, I haven't blocked this yet, but you can see. So it's got this beautiful cable and these, and then you do a twist. You do a twisted rib, and then one of the twisted ribs follows up all the way up through the hat to the, and then you've got this like figure of 8 cable. I can't actually see what I'm showing you. So you've got this 8 cable, and then you've got like an antler cable there at the top, and it's just beautiful. So it does need a good block. So you can see the antler cable there on these beautiful. So I really enjoyed knitting that, and all of her patterns are amazing. And I saw on Jodie's Instagram yesterday, what day are we today? Sunday. It was either yesterday or Friday that she has done a hat using her leftovers that she knit her original ale hat in. And so I'm going to knit Nigel that version using these colours. So we'll be sort of matchy, but not proper matchy. Not like, you know, his and hers matchy, because that's a bit weird. Apologies if you like matching with your husband, but I don't. So yeah, that is the ale hat. So next up is the shift cowl by Andrea Mowry, and this yarn is like a marled yarns, and they were some mill ends that I got from John Arbon Textiles when we went to their mill open day. And it was a sport weight yarn. It was just obviously ends that they had that they just marled together, but they were just perfect for this pattern, and they were only £5 a skein. It was like bargain of the century. So when we went to EYF, I had, I was going to say spun right around, but it's not, is it? It's spin cycle. I had spin cycle yarn in my hand, and then I thought to myself, can I justify spending that amount of money on 3 skeins of yarn just to make one cowl? And we're talking, you know, nearly £100 for 3 skeins of spin cycle. And I just couldn't do it. I thought I could get a sweater's quantity and another skein of yarn for that same money. So I put it back. Because I just couldn't justify it to myself. Not that I have to justify it to myself, but I just thought it was rather a lot of money. And the 3 that were there were 2 that I really, really loved. And I couldn't find a third one that I really loved to go with it. So that sort of had me sort of in and amming as well. And I was a bit like, I'm not, if I was like blown away by the 3 colours that I had, I probably would have done it. But I wasn't. I was only blown away with 2 of the colours. And the third one, like I said, didn't really go. And I would have been buying it for the sake of buying it to get the 3, and I just couldn't do it. So when we went to John Arbon, Sophie and I, hi Soph, Sophie and I went, and when I saw this at John Arbon, I was like, oh my word, I'm so glad that I didn't buy the spin cycle now. So anyway, so this is the shift cowl. So obviously, unless you've been living under a rock, you would have seen these all over Instagram. So Andrea Mowry did a pullover, this cowl, a shawl, and there's a hat, I think. All in this sort of, it's all mosaic knitting, so it's just slip stitching. So you knit this flat, so it's like a large, so it goes across like a rectangle, and then a triangle comes down, and then you seam it at the back. And again, my seaming's not fantastic, but once it's being worn under a coat or whatever, you're not going to see it anyway, and it's all bunched up. So then you just seam it together, and then you have yourself a beautiful bandana type cowl that's not going to fall off. So that's just beautiful. Showed you my weekender sweater. This is my weekender sweater on the last episode, but it has now been blocked. So now we have this yarn just attracts fluff and dirt, and this is gonna get blown out, I think. Yeah, it is. Oh my word, that's horrible. But this is the Understated sweater. So it has this ribbed detail on the back, on the top shoulders, and across the back. Oh, that's better. That's not blowing out so bad now. And this is yarn I dyed myself. So it's like a navy, a really dark sort of navy with black. You can just see black undertones to it. So this is why I'm wearing a white shirt, so I could show you this sweater. So I will just put it on. Oh, comedy moment, nearly fell over. So it is, sorry, just let me collar out. It is a boxy sweater, and I did this one quite short. So there's my hip, so it's quite short at the front. The sleeves are quite long on it, so they do come down past the shirt, but I can always pull the sleeves up if I want to. So, and then, so it is. Sorry, I should have ironed. This shirt's like fresh out the pack, and the collar's all doolally. Ever so professional, eh? Oh, look at the ears all over the shop now. So this is the Understated sweater by Hohi Locatelli. It's a DK weight, boxy V-neck. Again, like I say, with this rib detail across the top, on the back, and I love it. Absolutely love it. The yarn came out just as I wanted it. I wanted like a really dark blue, which is exactly what I got. So, like I said, it is a cropped, but with a long white shirt underneath. It's really cool. Husband's out at the moment, but so it's a little bit longer in the back, because I haven't got any boobies in my back, so it comes down a little, so it hasn't got to go over in the bluebells. Yeah, so really chuffed that I got it finished. Stash Dash, which is something hosted by Laura and Leslie of the Knit Girls, really helped me push through and get stuff finished. And Bedside Vigil was just great. This was great because once I got past the V and joined in the round, and when I will, if anybody is thinking of knitting this or is in the process of knitting and thinks the V is really deep, when I first knit this, before I knit the neckband, the V was like down here, and I was like, oh my word, that's going to be like down by my belly button, the V. And I thought, no, go with it, because I thought, if worst comes to the worst, once I've done the neckband, if it's still too low, I could just, I would have just sewn the V shorter. But some wizardry happens when you do a V-neck neckband, and it just went right up, and it just comes like in a cleavage, so it's perfect. So I will, when the husband comes back, I'll get him to take a full-length picture with this shirt on, because the one on my Instagram, I didn't have this shirt because I couldn't find a shirt that I liked that was long enough to come out under the sweater. So once he's home, I will get him to take a proper photograph, and I will insert it here. So that's the Understated sweater. Oh my god, it's so warm. I woke up this morning and it was like overcast and quite chilly, and then the sun started coming out, and it was like that perfect, like, crisp autumn day. And now the sun, now all that sort of cloud has burnt off. It's roasting. It's too hot. I'm so ready for autumn. So ready for autumn. Yes. Look at how tiny those sleevages are. Look. So it's quite drop-shouldered as well. The next FO is Epic. Da, 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 da. My Mold Mania cardigan is finished. Sorry, I got a bit excited then. Oh my word. It was just one of those things that I had on the needles, and it was like, right, I need to get that finished now. So, bear with, and I will just put it on. sort myself out. So here we have the Mild Mania cardigan. So you start with this ribbed collar that does, got the iPad too high and I can't, so it does really, so that comes down to like the waistband of my jeans, and then you start marling all of your, and you have this rib detail that goes down the sleeve and all the way down the body. I didn't do mine as long as Stephen West says, but this is going to be my favourite way to wear it. I think I'm gonna so I have a shawl pin, and so what I do is I just hook one side up, and I might have to like put a popper or something up here to keep it so it wears more like a coat. Again, I have got proper photographs of this, so I will insert them in here. They are on my Instagram and they are on my Ravelry if you do want to have a look. But so I used a variety of yarns throughout the whole of this, just chopping and changing. The only bit I don't like is that dark, really dark stripe there, but hey ho. I will probably never wear it out of the house anyway, but it's going to be like super warm and stuff for the winter, so I'm just going to keep it on the back of my work chair and wear it. I've got to take it off now because it's too hot. So that was the reason I wanted to get it finished, because I knew it was going to be epic meterage for Stash Dash, and in the end it came out at 3,345 meters. Da, da, da. So I was going to talk about Stash Dash at the end, but I'll talk about it now. So I did manage to hit my goal, which was 10k, so 10,000 meters. I knit mostly out of stash. I don't think I think those socks were probably socks, and the mill ends from John Arbon were probably the only thing that I bought during Stash Dash. I had this thing, I'm going to Perth Festival of Yarn next weekend, so I had this thing in my head where I didn't really want to buy any yarn between going to Yarningham in the middle of July and going to Perth at the beginning of September. And apart from the Autumn Eladrin, which is what was here because it was just too good to miss, that's all I bought. So I bought a skein of this. I bought this on DK and I bought it on sock. So I did have yarn arrive during that period, but it was stuff that clubs that I had bought before. So for a serial yarn buyer like me, I didn't think I did too bad. 2 skeins of yarn in 7 weeks. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. When normally I'd have had 2 skeins of yarn a week, probably. So, I can't show you all of my Stash Dash FOs because some of them are super secret baby knitting. So what I will do at the end of this segment, at the end of this podcast, I'm going to do a separate recording of the baby knits that I've knit for my dear friend Sarah, whose baby is due in 10 days. So exciting! And obviously she hasn't received them yet, so I don't want to show them. So I'm going to record them because I want to get them wrapped and posted off to her, because baby is hopefully going to arrive while I'm away on holiday in Scotland. So I'll record, after, when I finish this, I'll record another segment, which I will pop on the end of the next podcast, which are going to be more regular now, I promise, because I have more time now. And then I'll pop it on the end of the next podcast. So you won't see it until then. But you will see what I knit, because they are so cute. I love baby knits. They're just so quick and just so cute. And, you know, who doesn't like a baby in a hand knitted sweater? They're so cute. Cute, cute, cute. So, right. So that was all of my epic FOs. So what else have we been working on? Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. Right. In this amazing Hogwarts bag. I can't remember. These are my Georgia socks by Tracy from Grocery Girls, Tracy Miller. So, and that's as far as I've got. So they're a shorty sock with a that are written, the pattern's written to have an afterthought heel, so you just knit the sock and then cut in for the heel after. And they've got this cute sort of feather and fan detail. I don't know if I've got a picture, because I try not to print pictures unless because they use up lots of ink. Oh no, I haven't. I'm sure you've all seen them anyway. Again, if you've not, so I am using 2 colours of coupe knits. So a turquoise, and this is more turquoise than it's showing, and a bright pink. This is from the pinks from her neon sets. So the pink is Xenon. Xenon, which is Z. No, it's not. It's X even. Xenon, and then Larimar is the turquoise, and this is coupe knit Soxia fingering superwash merino nylon. So that's as far as I've got on the first sock. So as I mentioned just now, I'm going to Scotland with my husband. Under the pretense of going on holiday, but fitting in Perth Festival of Yarn as well as we go. He's so accommodating, bless him. I was like, can we go here? And he was like, yeah, let's go. So we're going to go to Perth. So we're driving up. Epic journey from Devon to. We're going to stop at Thirsk, which is Cumbria, I believe. Next Thursday. Today is Saturday. Sorry, no, it's not. It's Sunday. Sunday, the 1st of September. Really bad. So we're going to drive. Next Thursday, we drive from here to Thirsk. Friday, we're going from Thirsk to Perth. Have a little wander around Perth Friday afternoon, see what's going on. Then Saturday, we are both going to be at Perth Festival of Yarn. Whether he stays the whole day is probably not going to happen. So I will be, my aim is to be there all day, floating around. I believe there's a podcasters meetup at 12:30, although I am not officially on their podcaster list. I will hang around that sort of area. So if anybody is going, I would like to come and say hello. Please do. Even if you see me walking around, please stop me and say hello. So all of this, my whipses that I will show you, bar 2, will be going on holiday with me, so they'll be going on holiday. These are my Coffee Talk socks, which I did show you in the last episode. I now have one completed. Let me get a blocker, hang on, because you can't see the true, because of the pattern they do scrunch up. So these are the Coffee Talk socks, again by Tracy Miller from Grocery Girls. So we have, so this is, so one is done. So you have this beautiful central panel of pattern with some reverse stockinette each side, a beautiful heel flap and gusset, and then you do a faded toe, and the top of the toe is done in reverse stockinette. So you follow this aesthetic, that was a big word, wasn't it? So you follow this all the way down, so it's beautiful. So the yarn I am using, that's quite true, this is a bit more coppery than it's showing, but this is showing really well. So the yarn I am using is the Yarn Ink Amore set. So like I said, I haven't even cast on the second one yet, so that will be cast on before we go, because the pattern's quite repetitive. It's only a 4-row pattern. Repetitive, what am I on about? Memorizable is the word I meant to say. So so that will be going, they will be cast on, and that will be going with me as well, because they might be good sort of travel knitting. What we got next? This is in my knitter bag that's covered in cat hair and fluff. I have my Zweig sweater, which I have hardly touched since splitting for the sleeves. So I've now finished, I don't know how, I can't remember how far I was on this on the last episode, but so all the lace section is done. Oh, look at those chins. So all the lace section is done, all the colour work section is done. So now, and I've split for the sleeves, and the sleeves are on my Clover stitch holders. I love these. So they've got like a little needle at one end, and then got like a foam stopper at the other, and they're just easier than having to put your stitches on waste yarn, because then you can just transfer them back off this needle onto your needles when you. So this again will be holiday knitting, because I am now at the point where I am just going round and round and round and round and round for the body. So what yarns have we got? The pattern, again, everybody's probably seen the Zweig. The pattern calls for crosses, just like a little cable cross all down the body. I'm quite fat, so I don't really want to draw a huge amount of attention to my body, the body of my sweater, because it, you know, it just draws people to the blubber, and I don't want people looking at me blubber. So I am going to leave the crosses off. A, because I don't want to draw attention to them. B, I think it detracts from the lace bit at the top, and that's what I want people to look at, is the lace. And I don't think, because of the lightness of my main colour, I don't think you're going to be able to see them very well. Plus, I am doing the helix knitting method of alternating. So you slip, when you come to the end of a row, you slip the last 3 stitches and then start your alternate colour. So you haven't got that line. You know, before, when you alternate, you would just go to the knit to the end of your round, and then pick up the other one, pick up the other strand of yarn and knit with that, and then you get like that crease line, like a seam line. With the helix knitting, you don't get that. I did that on my Understated, and you can't see where I picked there's no line of where that change happened. So if I did the cable crosses, I at some point will end up having those crosses and those 3 stitches of the helix knitting meeting, and my little brain couldn't work out how to get around that. It was probably quite easy to get around it, but so that was another thing that decided that I wasn't going to do the crosses. And also I just couldn't be bothered. Is that bad? I just wanted to just knit and knit and knit and knit and knit and knit, and doing those crosses wouldn't allow me to knit and knit and knit and knit. So this is my yarn. So the lace was done. This is all Nora George yarns. So this was her November colourway. So the lace and the contrast colour was all done in this. And I'm aiming and amming, and I don't know, because I have all of this left of one skein, and I have another skein, which it doesn't matter. I could use the other skein for socks or in a shawl or whatever. But I have all of this left. So I am wondering if you've got this. Let me show you what the other one. This is her raspberry colourway. So there's 2 things that are going through my little brain at the moment. Is either doing just before the ribbing, and like the last inch of my body is doing these, is either doing this colour work, these little like mountains, or just doing 2 stripes. So 2 rounds of two so this stripe is 2 rounds of the contrast, or doing this section again just underneath, just above the ribbing. But I don't know if that's going to attract people's eyes to my fat bum and my fat belly. If it does, do I just go, so what, look at my flubber? I don't know. If you have any thoughts, then please leave a comment below. Or if you have knit this and have done something similar, again, please leave a comment. What I should do is go through people's projects on Ravelry, to be honest. That's probably what I'll do at some point, and see if anybody's added this in along the bottom. Instead of doing the crosses, maybe this would be, it would be nicer to just bring this colour back in. And then I will probably, if I do that along the bottom, then I'll do it around the bottom of the sleeves as well, before I do the ribbing of the sleeves. So that's where I am with that. So that will definitely be coming on holiday with me, because that I can do in the car and stuff. Obviously not while driving, because I will have to do my share of the driving, which I don't mind. And I can, you know, if I go to at the festival, I can sit and chat to people and knit that at the same time. So that's good sort of festival knitting. Right, the next project I'm totally blaming on Kelly from the Must Love Yarn podcast. If you don't watch that podcast, it's worth watching. It's 2 ladies who are co-owners with a third person who unfortunately doesn't come on to the podcast that often. They own a yarn shop in Vermont, Connecticut. But they're just 2 really nice ladies. So Kelly, one of the ladies, has started knitting the Jigsaw by Stephen West, which is a large marled component, I suppose is the word I would use. It's just like little bits here and there, so it's not like large, like when I did like the Vertices Unite and stuff where you have massive big sections. So this is a mild shawl, and it is all, as the name, you know, it's called the Jigsaw. So it is like a jigsaw puzzle. So you start. So I started here. So you're supposed to pick 8 colours. So you have 6 colours, and then 1 colour and a fluff. So mohair, or I have a ball of Surrey alpaca silk from Nora George. So that's what I've chosen as my fluff, along with, so you have 8 skeins of yarn in total. So these are my, what he calls the contrast colour. So I'm holding this with this, which is, this is Swish and Flick by Nora George, which was a Mrs. Weasley's colourway, and this is just a real pale pink, like a blush pink, in the Surrey alpaca. And when they are mulled together, it looks like that, and it's beautiful, and it is like a cloud. I'm not a mohair fan because I find mohair quite itchy, and it gets up your nose and fly away. And so you started with this section. Then you did this little triangle of the fluff, and then it was this long bit, and then it was this bit, and then this sort of V-shaped fluff, and then this. So you are sort of going all over the shot. And this is this is section 8, which I've just finished, and then I pick up along here and knit another tiny triangle like that one. So it is going to be a huge, another massive Stephen West shawl. But because you're marling the yarns, this one here, oh, you can see the mauvey there, is a mauve and a mint green held together. So I'm just going random. I couldn't decide on 8 skeins of yarn. So I think I chose like 18 skeins of yarn. I just went through my stash and picked out pinks and mint greens and some other vibrant kind of, so this was, you can't really see it very well, you've got to focus, so you get the gist. I've got some yellows and some like greens and reds and stuff, so I'm just having fun, just sort of, I just pick 2 at random. Yeah, they'll do. So it is going to be, you know, like Joseph and his coat of many colours. I do particularly like this combo here. So it is really random. And I have a million and so ends to weave in. So this, I think that's going to be the top edge there. So this is one corner. So it's going to be huge. It's big now. It's big enough to wear as a shawl now without like the ad. I think there's 22 or 24 sections in total. So I wasn't going to cast that on, but after Dad passed away, I was a bit, nothing was just, anything that I had on the needles was just not grabbing my attention, and I was flitting, doing a row here and a row there, and then I watched Kelly and Ange, and I was like, ooh. I had the Jigsaw shawl already in my Ravelry library anyway, and knew I was going to knit it at some point, but this was just what I needed. It's just garter with some decreases and some yarn overs, and it was just mindless, really good sort of TV knitting, and quite, you know, if I just wanted some quiet time, it's just soothed my soul, is all I can say about that. It's just beautiful. I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. So, oh, one more. Sorry, one more. So that won't be coming on holiday with me because I can't. Although we're driving, I still have limited room. So the last thing on my needles at the moment is another Stephen West. A little bit like the Stephen West show today, isn't it? Stephen West and Grocery Girls. So this is the start of the Canal rings shawl. So this pattern is intarsia, which I didn't realise at the time, but it's interesting. It's fun. I've done intarsia once before on a Stephen West pattern. So these pink bits are intarsia, and I have 3. This is. Let me show you the pattern because I'm sure there's a photograph on here somewhere. In fact, I know there is. I'll get a picture that's not got pattern on it. Here we go. Oh, what's going on? Right. So, I bought this yarn at EYF from Stephen and Penelope Booth. So that is the Canal rings shawl. That's the colour that Stephen West did his sample in. But I don't do boring. So I chose this dark grey called Mouse. It's looking quite black on screen, but it is dark grey. And then I have this light pink, where he's got the 3 darker greys there. I have light pink, then I have a, sorry for the rustling, like a medium pink, and then like a dark pink, purple colour, and then obviously the dark black. It's called Mouse, and this is his West wool. So the dark is Mouse, this one is powder, the light pink is powder, the medium one is Ross Wither, and then that one is Glühwein. So it is like a real like winey pinky colour. So I cast this on, and then everything happened with Dad. So I haven't been right in the right headspace to tackle intarsia. So, but I will get on with it because I really want this shawl. I really love it. So the intarsia is stockinette, and then you do garter, like reversed in between, and then you're doing this beautiful wavy border at the same time on the top, and then you'll do this bottom border after. So it's the pattern. You do have to like really concentrate on the pattern, which is why I haven't got any further than I have, because I just haven't been in the headspace to carry on with it. So, and this is in my canvas cube bag from Thimble and Thread Make. Oh, I got some new pins when I was at Yarningham. I went to, I don't know how to pronounce it, Katin Bag. So I got Team Cat, and I got this one, which is, this says feminism, cats and knitting, and then it's like a Venn diagram, and then in the middle it says me. So I got that one as well. And I got a Sleeve Island. Help, I'm on Sleeve Island. Because we all get stranded on Sleeve Island, don't we? I don't mind Sleeve Island, to be honest. So that is all that's on the needles at the moment. Exciting. But I have got future knitting that I want to show. So I did say that I was going to do some more. So this is Fab Funky Fibres. So these are going to be, this is the full moon colourway. So you can see it's going to be like this crazy neon stripe in between black stripes. So I just have to find a contrast to do heels, toes and cuffs with. So this is going to be cast on for, again, for travel knitting. So that will be coming on holiday. Then Jodie Brown of Mrs. Brown's Bags and Grocery Girls designed a hat for the Nomadic Knits magazine called the Harrington hat, and it's beautiful cabled hat, all over cabled hat, and I have this ball of Stranded Dyeworks Castaway DK in a house red colourway. This was a second I got at a trunk show she did, because there are some like red speckles in it, but to be honest, it's not bothering me. There's another one there. So it was in a seconds bin, but it's absolutely fine. So I'm going to knit the Harrington hat out of that, and with a big fluffy pom-pom on the top. And then once my Zweig is finished, I'm going to cast on another Caitlin Hunter pattern, which is the Novelli tee, which I'm sure again you've all seen. It's got a band of colour work around the bottom, and it's just a short sleeved, like cropped boxy type. So I have these 4 skeins of Deliciousness from Mr. B's Yarns. I've always wanted a sweater in this. This is their French Earl Grey colourway. Look at this, beautiful. And I've always wanted a sweater in this. So when I saw the Novelli, I was like, yeah, has to be done. So this is, like I said, that label's come off the other skein. So this is their French Earl Grey on their Hiddleston 4-ply 75/25 base. So I've got 2 of those. Then the main band at the bottom is going to be this, which is Mild China, which is just a beautiful pale, like bone china-y colour, like a pale grey off-white with lots of beautiful speckles in it. And then I have Stonewash, which is going to be the main, which is, these 2 are going to be the colour work band around the bottom. So this will be the dark bit in the band. So, but I'm not casting that on until I've finished my Zweig, because I don't need 2 finger and weight sweaters on the needles at the same time. No. So yeah, as I explained, I'm going to be at Perth next weekend, which is, I'm going to be there on Saturday the 7th of September, and then I'm home for 2 weeks, and then travelling back up to that end of the country again, because I'm going to Yorndale with Sophie and Imogen. So again, we will be there on the Saturday and the Sunday, I do believe, which is the 28th and 29th of September. So Yorndale is held at Skipton in Yorkshire? North Yorkshire. I'm sure it's Yorkshire. Anyway, it's quite a way up the country from us. So I will be there on the Saturday and the Sunday. So again, if you do see me, please say hello. It'd be lovely to see you. Stop and have a hug. That's it, I think. I can't think of anything else. It's not bad, an hour. We've done an hour. Yeah. That's it. So I hope everybody is well. Thank you for watching. Thank you to any new viewers. I hope you managed to stick with me during this. It's quite, sorry, it wasn't a very smooth podcast, was it? But like I say, I am a bit out of practice. I do promise that I will be more regular. I'm hoping to fit one in between now and before Yarndale, and then I'll do one after Yarndale, hopefully. Because like I say, I am not, my time is not being pulled in several directions now, which is bittersweet, shall we say. Thank you for watching. Hope you are all well, and I will catch you again soon. Bye.